All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we do have a very special guest with us today. DAVINCIJ15 is back on the channel. It's been a few years since you were here, maybe 2021 or 2020. It's good to have you back, DAVINCI. For all of you guys who don't know DAVINCI, you should go and check out his channel as soon as possible in the description, because this man has been recommending people to buy Bitcoin for 10 plus years. When was that first video you uploaded where you were telling people to get in at like $1 or what was the price then?
Well, the most famous video that everybody talks about is the one where I said to buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. That was in 2013. Right. However, I've been talking about Bitcoin since March of 2011, and there's lots of videos of that. If you go back into my archives, you can see a list of videos that I did in 2011.
And how have you been all this year since we last spoke? I think it was 2020. At that time, you were in Chile, as far as I remember. But now I know you've been traveling the world. So please give us a recap of DAVINCI's life the last few years, the bear market and the bull market.
Well, it's been crazy. I mean, Chris, remember crypto, was harassing me to come to Dubai. I was like, yeah, I don't want to go to Dubai. I'm happy in Chile. I'm good. And then he said, oh, come on, just open up a company here. So I did. And I got stuck here because in Chile, they closed the border and no one was allowed back in. So, but I started liking it because one of the cool things about Dubai is that you can actually ask for up to $10 million in cash and they'll bring it to your house, no problem. Like no one will try to steal it from them. They don't have to bring security. It's just one guy.
So it's perfect for OTC. If anyone wants to cash out Bitcoin, it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And how does it work with real estate? It's also that you can bring Bitcoin without any problems and buy real estate in Dubai as well still?
Certain real estate companies will accept Bitcoin, like Emar, right? Will accept Bitcoin for buying properties there. And I mean, you can even drop cash on their laps as well. They'll do that too. They'll accept that too.
Right. Do you miss Chile, or you're fully ejected from Chile mentally and physically now?
Yeah, I think so. Because one of the things I noticed is that, wait a second, I don't have to do any tax planning whenever I want money.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And once you feel that, once you experience that, you never want to go back.
Exactly. You just feel liberated. You feel like, wasn't I just a slave a few months back? Yeah, I was actually, because I had to pay taxes, right?
Exactly.
Big feeling, huge difference in feeling.
I can imagine, 100%. But DAVINCI, let's speak about Bitcoin currently. We've had quite a nice run up during the past few weeks. We broke 30K. I'm sharing your screen right now. Walk us through, what do you think is happening right now in the crypto world as a whole, but specifically, let's start with Bitcoin. Do you see this move as significant or not significant? What's your view?
Yeah, so this is, we have, what defines a bull market, right? It's higher lows, right, and higher highs, right? Here's another high, another high, another high, and another high. So this is clearly a bull market here that we can see for Bitcoin, and it's only going to continue because Bitcoin loves. Just remember, Bitcoin loves the 61.8. And what we can see the target for this big move, now that we have clearly traced out a bull market, there's no denying it. If you do, then you're a fool. Bitcoin loves the 61 point, and I notice the numbers are not showing up. Hang on, let's see here. Delete. I wonder why the number's not. I could have said, you know what, this one website always screws me up a little bit here. Let's see if I can do that again. And let's try once again. Nope, the numbers are not showing up. Well, but I can show you where the 61.8, because I know exactly where it is. It's right about here at the 48,500 level. Bitcoin loves its 61.8. you can hit the short there, and there's a high probability that it will reverse at that level approximately. So in that area, that's a reversal zone because that's where the institutional players will be selling. They were already buying in this green box area that I showed you here, that you can see here. This whole green box between the 28,800 and the 17,000. They're buying in this area. Now they're all hands off. All they're doing is manipulating the market at this point higher. They're creating news items. BlackRock is definitely behind the listing of their Bitcoin ETF on the DTCC web systems, so that you would get all excited that this ETF is coming. But meanwhile, BlackRock has purchased all the Bitcoin down here, all of it down here, and they're not buying anything. So be prepared for this. The institutional players, they're going to be selling in this area. There's a 50K, but institutional players sometimes get it wrong. So there could be a case where Bitcoin could blow them out of the water, and if that happens, you could see Bitcoin, create an all-time high before the halving if they get blown out of the water, because they have to reverse all their trades, their short trades. So that would be scary, right?
But even if we don't hit an all-time high before the halving, that pullback, how big do you think it will be in case we go to that level of 48, let's say? Because many bears, they are now saying, oh, it's a fake out. This above 30K pump, it's a fake out. Just like they said when we went above 20K, oh, it's a fake out. It's going to go back to 15K. So in case we reverse at 48, what is the local bottom that we would be targeting at that point? Is it above the current levels? Is it at the current levels? What do you think?
Well, I'm looking at the weekly volume, and I'm not seeing much volume. Maybe they're right, but let's maybe if I switch to another system, another trade exchange, BTC/USD. Who would give you more volume? Let's just try Binance. See if they have a clear volume picture. No, there's not much volume. I mean, it is higher than normal this weekly. So a volume, right, speaks volumes, right? So you want to look for volume in these trades, if to see. Well, yeah, you know what? There's a little bit of an interesting volume here. It's not much to hang your hat on, but it is a little bit higher than the rest of the volume that we've seen in the weeks past in most of these exchanges. So you could say that this particular breakout has a little bit of strength to be a breakout. So I wouldn't hang my hat on that one, but I would say that this is definitely this breakout does mean, right, Bitcoin is going to go higher in most cases, right? Most cases, because we've clearly traced out a higher high. Now, could we come back and retest a little bit lower and then retest the 28 or the 30K ish area? Yes, but it should bounce off of that before we go any further. So that's what I'm thinking at the worst case scenario. But because I can see that the Bollinger Band's tightened up here, and this is now expanding, and if you look left, generally when you look left and you see only red candles, Bitcoin, every single market, not just Bitcoin, likes to retrace all the red candles that were in the past. That's exactly left from left side of the chart. So we could see this retraced all the way back up here very easily. But the scary thing about this, right? Remember what I said about look left? Well, this means that Bitcoin is going to go higher. What about the alts? Usually alts go and dragged along with Bitcoin, right? Well, this chart, which I've been showing my viewers for a long time, says no. This weekly chart is the dominance against all other cryptocurrencies. Doesn't mean every cryptocurrency will underperform Bitcoin, but this dominance does say hey, most cryptocurrencies are going to be altcoins, at least, are going to underperform Bitcoin's rally. So Bitcoin could drag them up, rallying up in terms, but it will do a much better, higher percentage than any other cryptocurrency. And that's what this chart is saying, because you can see, look left. Wow, this thing has definitely have room to run all the way up to the 62 percentile. That is a massive difference for the alts. That's a crushing blow for the alts. So you would do well to hold Bitcoin even against Ethereum, because I'm sure Ethereum plays a big part in this calculation of number, because Ethereum is such a large market cap. So yeah, I would expect both Ethereum and the rest of the market, crypto market, to really seriously underperform Bitcoin in the next little while. This is going to happen fast, I believe. You see, this could happen in several weeks.
Yeah, it's just a few weeks, and then we can probably hit that level that you see on the left hand side there, where dominance started to decline rapidly. It can very well go in the same manner. So this is more of a short term analysis, if I understand correctly. But if you look long term, let's say over the coming quarters, maybe half a year, how do you think the altcoin market will evolve? Do you look at the big existing altcoins that did well in the last bull market that you're excited about, or do you look at new altcoins, or you just stay out of altcoins until this Bitcoin dominance reverses?
Well, I mean, there's certain going to be altcoins, of course, that do well, but I would say you shouldn't unless you're doing lots of what's called analysis, not technical, but fundamental analysis on your altcoins portfolio. You can see, look at that drop off, and this double top, and it was like fail. But yeah, we could see this thing on a monthly scale even go as high as 70% before we actually look at this thing. It could actually go as high as 70% before we actually see the consolidation back. And it gets worse. If it breaks above the 73%, it can come back all the way up to the 95%, right? So that would be scary. That would mean the alts are absolutely useless, right? That everything, and that's possible, right? What happens if this Bitcoin ETF actually has Bitcoin in it, and they force it to actually have Bitcoin in it? That would be a game over, right? Because every single retirement fund will be able to buy this. And once that happens, well, there's only 21 million. They ain't making more. And they have lots of dollars.
So let's follow along with this Bitcoin dominance. What's going to happen there? We're going to watch it closely on the channel as well. Looking at the macro, do you follow anything in terms of the macro, the Fed, the geopolitics? As we are in a very unusual circumstance with everything in the world. How do you think it affects crypto and the cycles, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin is like the next gold, the new gold, and we could see Bitcoin become a safe haven like gold, especially since it's been anointed by the what's it called, the industry players and the market in general as the cryptocurrency to use overall. And so if that's the case, right, especially since it is the safest one that they can use, we could see, it totally discorrelate from the rest of the general market, and actually show that people that, hey, wait a second, gold is completely manipulated. This is not, and it's surely showing that the US dollar is garbage. So we better get out, since this can act as a new currency, can act as money that we can use, that we can save our wealth in, whether you're a corporation or an individual, right, or a small business. This is where you want to save your wealth. Once that realization comes, imagine if many people have that awakening moment like Michael Saver does. What happens? If they if like half, or no, not a half. Let's just say 5% of all businessmen go, yeah, I see the value of that, like Michael Saylor did, and then mortgage themselves to death to buy Bitcoin. I mean,
Well, Michael
wow.
Saylor kind of opened up this Bitcoin black hole where it just sucks all the fiat into it, where he takes out loans, he leverages himself, buys Bitcoin. Fiat is printed infinitely, while Bitcoin is the hard asset, only 21 million. And that's how many maxis have predicted the fiat downfall to happen, that all of this fiat hyperinflate while Bitcoin is the only thing that is limited, and you can borrow the fiat and get into Bitcoin, and this loop just continues and continues and continues. And we just need a few more. We have the Salinas guy in Mexico, I don't remember his first name, but that billionaire in Mexico who is also very, very positive on Bitcoin. We have El Salvador, of course, and hopefully we can get a few more. Just one more is going to be a massive addition. And if we have 2-3 more people, businessmen in the world that do it, it's gonna be interesting to follow, and obviously gonna change the minds of even more people. What do you think about Elon Musk and that he's gonna transform Twitter into a financial app within the coming year? You think it's gonna be Doge?
I don't think it's gonna be Doge, but only because Doge is. If you ever seen the GitHub, it's like, there's no posts, there's nothing going on, and on top of that, it's merged mine with Litecoin, and Litecoin's mining has gone down significantly to the point where it could be attacked by governments if they wanted to. So it is an issue with Dogecoin now. What could be interesting in going forward is Shiba. Unfortunately. Yes, I know it doesn't sound like it. I know. Don't beat me up, okay? But let me explain. Okay? Well, Shiba, right, they're going to be creating their own chain. And so I know it sounds crazy. Please. Okay, I know. Just as bad as the Dogecoin is, but just hear me out. Okay? But they've created their own chain, and so that means you can actually transfer Shiba and pay the fees in Shiba instead of Ethereum. It's just built off of top of Ethereum, really effectively. But yeah, that's what you can you'll be able to do going forward once that chain is available. And then on top of that, they're building a whole huge ecosystem. Now, I've spoken to many developers and the team behind Shiba Inu, and they are trying to do way too much at the same time as my concern. That's what I pointed out to them. When you try to do too much, you get nothing done, right? Nothing specifically done, right? So I hope that I understand why they want to build the chain and build everything else on top of it, like all the dexes and everything, all the cool tools that Ethereum's using right away. But yeah, you know what? Build a better second layer and let the developers come, right? Build it and they will come, is what I think. Because everybody, there's such a large community behind Shiba that the developers will come.
Yeah, absolutely. And also there's this power in having a community. That's the most important thing that you can have, because all code is open source. So just having an L2, anyone can do an L2. There are now companies that do it as a service, where you can go to a website and just click and you have an L2 very quickly. So it's all about if you have the fanatics in your community who can stomach big dumps and they're still there and they're still buying. And that's also what's attracting devs, because the devs want to have users. So if you have a fanatical blockchain that where users are going to be nonetheless, it's a big incentive. So I haven't seen Elon Musk speak anything about Shiba, but maybe he has. But that one is very interesting to me, how he can disrupt finance, which I'm sure he wants to do, because he wants to tell the establishment that he doesn't need them. He does it with the media aspect, with the citizen journalism, with the freedom of speech, and finance would be the second big industry he could disrupt. But I don't see how you can do that without crypto. If he does it using TradFi, there's going to be no disruption.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if he was interested in doing it with Shiba, it wouldn't be smart for him to actually mention Shiba at all, right? So, all this distraction, the Dogecoin could be just a distraction for you to jump on Doge whilst he's choosing another cryptocurrency altogether. It might not be Shiba, but it might be something else. And he's buying a lot of it right now. So I mean, that would be a smart thing to do, right? Because whatever
true.
he said
You
talks
don't-
about,
You don't want people to front run. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
DaVinci, I know we just have a few minutes left. How can people find you outside of YouTube? I know before you had the wallet and all kinds of projects that you were working on. What do you work on today where we can send you some traffic?
Well, right now, if you could head over to DaVinciJ15.com, right? If you're interested in watching me do the show live, you can do that, and you can ask me questions. Also, if you're interested in just watching my day-to-day life, you could head over to Instagram, DaVinciJ15. In fact, TikTok, everywhere. You just find me on DaVinciJ15 because that was just my username that I was using, and I wasn't expecting to be famous, right? One day, I was just software developer, just getting into Bitcoin.
Yeah, and that's the power of Satoshi. Satoshi has gifted us a lot of things, including Bitcoin, but also a lot of opportunity. And today is the anniversary, by the way, of the Bitcoin white paper. It's 15 years since it was published. So it's a massive milestone. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe to DaVinci. DaVinci, thanks a lot for being on the channel. And let's see how this market evolves. Hopefully we can do more of this market check-ins going forward. And listen, it's the start of the bull market, so a lot of things ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure everybody here is, because, man, once that bull market starts, you can see all the partying starts, right? Everybody gets rich really quick.
That's when you gotta be careful and not drink too much of your own Kool-Aid with all of the altcoins and JPEGs and the monkey pictures worth millions. Suddenly you start believing it. Suddenly you're like, man, this punk is or this monkey is worth 2 million. No, guys, be very careful. If you follow our channels, we're gonna warn you when it's time. DaVinci, have a good day. Great having you on.
All right, you too. Cheers.